Welcome back to Book Bingers, the podcast where two best friends talk about book boyfriends, wingspans, romantasy, fantasy, literally anything that comes to our mind. But today is a very special episode where you didn't have to read any book at all to follow along with us. In fact, this is us trying to help you on how to start a book club. I don't know if you know, but we have had a book club for a year and a half.
Yeah.
And it was something that we started not knowing anybody.
Yeah.
We started a book club literally.
Like, do you think other people would want to?
Do you think anyone would want to be in a book club with us? And I simply made like an Instagram post. I think we were like, would anybody join our book club? And we had a ton of people say yes, but we didn't know them. Yeah. And I was like, are we doing this?
We're doing it.
So we're going to kind of go through step by step the things that we have found that works for a book club, that don't work for a book club, and how to make your book club different or special than your average book club.
Yeah, I think we don't have your average book club.
We literally have named our book club not your average book club. Because some of the things that there were some things we liked about a book club and some things we didn't like about a book club, and I'm not your typical girl that can just sit on a folding chair and simply talk about the themes of the book and
just do discussion questions.
Discussion questions that the author gives you. Yeah. Like, that is not for me. No. If that's for you, Google. I don't know.
Yeah.
But we specifically were like, we don't want it to be online. We didn't want it to be like a video.
No, we didn't want to be on Zoom.
Didn't want that. We wanted it to be a way for us to meet in person other people that love books as much as us, and we wanted it to be something hosted in a house. We didn't want it to be a community center or a library. We didn't want it to be too big.
Yeah. We didn't want it to be too small, obviously.
Correct.
But like finding that right balance of how many people, and also how many people that others would be comfortable hosting.
Yeah. And I will say we really rolled the dice because we didn't know. I mean, okay, here's the thing. I knew them without knowing them.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? Like, they were followers, and I've had conversations online with a lot of them, but a lot of them I hadn't met in person.
Yeah.
Like, one was a mom that we knew.
Yep.
Kind of through someone else at the time.
Someone I knew back from Massachusetts.
Someone that you had known a long time ago. One was actually like a friend of mine. Yep. One was like a girl that I had met at a farmer's market that made macarons for my son's birthday. And then like a couple were just like followers.
Yeah.
And there were a lot more that like one, but I was like, I wanted it to be someone that I've at least talked to. Like, that we had, like, because I was like, I can't vouch for these people.
It's hard because we would love to have it be more people.
I'd love to have it be.
But it's really hard to pick and choose. And you'd never know, now that we've had this core group of, I would say, 8 to 10 regulars.
Yeah. You don't want to disrupt it.
You don't want to mess with the mojo.
Yeah.
You know, you don't know how a new personality is going to fit.
Yeah, and we've had some personalities kind of come and go, and we've just kind of figured out that like what we want is like someone that puts the book club as a priority.
Yep.
And also, as you can't have it grow too much when you're asking people to host it in their house.
Correct.
Not everybody wants to host for 20 people or has the space to do that. And right now we have it where it's a rotation. Like every month it's a different person hosting.
We try to schedule, like, we're trying, especially with the summer being the summer. We're trying to schedule a couple months out.
Yeah, but for a while, it was literally like month to month. Like, who's hosting next month?
And it becomes very difficult. You know, people that's the hardest part is finding a day.
People have a lot. And that is truly the hardest thing. The more that the group grows and the more people come in, the more conflicts people have. And sometimes you have to pick a date that just works for the majority, and it sucks disappointing people.
Yeah.
But let's talk about things that we think did work versus things that we think didn't work. First and foremost, just start the book club. Like, it was something I had been thinking about for years and years, and I really truly didn't think anyone would come. And like, both Sarah and I moved from other states to where we live now in Orlando, and we didn't really know that many people, and I was like, it's hard to meet people as an adult. So I will say, I know you think that no one's going to come to your book club, but you would be surprised how many people also want to meet other people and how many people read.
So many.
Or how many people want to get into reading, but they don't really know what books to read or where to go.
And something like this would keep them on track.
Correct. And like also help them find out what they like and what we don't like. We found that we were the readers in our group, and most of the other girls were just getting into reading or they didn't really know to read. So for a year, Sarah and I picked every book that we read. Yeah. We were constantly like, what do you girls want to read? And like they were like, whatever you want. So that would be one thing I would say was a struggle.
Yeah, I think because you want everyone to like, we have a problem.
Yeah.
We want everyone to like it, right?
Yeah, I mean, and I want to like it too.
And I want to like it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times we would pre-read the books or we would pick books that we had read
and we loved,
that we enjoyed and we thought that other people would like, and that works, but it's a lot of pressure.
It's a lot of pressure, and it's also like sometimes you want to read a new book.
I sure would.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So I will say what I would change, and if you're starting a book, is I think a fun way to do it is to have people, whoever's hosting, pick the book, or have, I've seen those fun things where everybody throws in like a book they want and then they open like what they're going to do that month, or the books they're not going to read and the last one is the one they're going to read. Try to keep it from one person picking the book every month. Yeah. That gets stressful for that person, and also there's nothing worse than picking a book and people not liking it. And it's gonna happen. It's going to happen.
It's nice when everyone doesn't like it.
Yes, and it's nice when everybody loves it.
Yeah.
But I will also say another like pro tip is keep in mind everybody has different tastes, and you have to go into it knowing that you're going to get a difference of opinion on your books. And if you're a person that it upsets you when people don't like the book you like, maybe don't pick that book. Maybe this isn't for you.
And you have to realize like everyone has a different rating system.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So your 4 might be someone else's 3. You may have actually enjoyed the book the same amount.
Correct.
But you just categorize it differently.
Correct. So Sarah and I have totally different rating levels.
Absolutely.
And like that's another thing too, is like maybe try to stay away from the rating part of it and just ask someone like, do you like it? Would you recommend it? What did you love? I will say keeping it different every month keeps the book club fresh. Like if you have the same questions every month, it gets boring. Yeah. It does. And one thing we have done so well, and it's the reason that our book club videos go viral. It's the reason that we have literally over 100 people on our list that want to be in the book club. And I'm going to tell you right now, the secret to it is keeping the book club fun, as themed as you can. It's not easy with every book. As themed as you can. Keeping it like, I don't know, like almost like a party versus a book club.
Absolutely. It needs to feel less academic and more social.
You shouldn't have to like be super smart to enjoy the party. And you actually shouldn't have had to have read the book to enjoy the party. Yeah. And that is what we found. Sometimes we have people come that couldn't finish the book.
It happens. Life happens.
But they should still be able to participate and enjoy.
Yeah, they shouldn't feel like they can't come. So like, correct. I think, we do a lot of games.
We do a lot of games.
A lot of games. Prizes.
Yeah.
Listen.
Food is like a big thing for ours.
Absolutely.
If there's a theme, we try to theme it. And I will say, try to take the stress off of your host by keeping it a potluck. Yeah. Like that.
It's a lot easier.
As the host, it's always like stressful having people in your house, and you're like, you want everybody to like have enough food, have enough drink, all of that.
I find it easier when like as the host, you more worry about like a themed drink, a couple themed drinks.
Yep.
Because honestly, financially, that stuff adds up.
It sure does.
And then you're adding decorations because we
decorate the shit out of our, like, and I'm not saying you have to.
No.
But let me just tell you, this is what we do. You don't have to do.
No.
We decorate. We theme as best as we can. with our decorations, we always have themed drinks.
Yes.
Even if it
Always.
doesn't make sense.
Yep,
And there
doesn't
wasn't
matter.
a drink, we will make the title of the drink
Something
a touch
to
of
do.
violence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like something to do with it.
With the book.
And then we let everybody bring food. If there's food that was actually talked about in the book, we'll be bringing
Yes,
it.
absolutely.
If it's a book that like food wasn't even a part of it, then we're like, just bring whatever you want.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just bring something delicious. And we've done books all over the place. We've done romance, we've done fantasy, we've done books that have a ton of food in them and not, but we always find a way to keep it themed. We also do games. I would say on average we do 2 to 3 activities.
Yeah.
They're not always super in depth. Sometimes it's bingo. Sometimes it's a crossword puzzle. Sometimes it's a scavenger hunt. Sometimes it's the threshing. Like, you know what I mean? Like sometimes they're really involved. It depends on the book and how much the host wants to do.
Sometimes it's tug of war.
Sometimes it's tug of war. Sometimes it's hide and seek. I don't, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
And I will also say ours is adults only. We
Yes.
don't, most of us are moms, not all of us, but a lot of us are like, we do have kids, but we kick them out.
Yeah. Sorry.
kick them out for
you
that
need
time.
to take the kids and you need to go somewhere.
And we don't let the kids like participate
Yeah.
because a lot of times we're reading spicy level books and we're talking about inappropriate things.
And like, yes, do we do trivia fairly often? Trivia usually.
Yeah, we do.
But that being said, if we have trivia, there's generally 1 or 2 other things that you do not have had to have read the book.
Correct. It's
Because
just like
how
throw this thing in this thing.
Not fun would it be if every time you show up, there is no chance
Correct.
for you to win.
So let's talk about our very first book club. It was so terrifying for us that
Yes.
Sarah and I figured out very quickly what worked and what didn't work. So let me tell you what we did on our first book club. And it was great. It was great. But again, this is everybody meeting each other for the first time. This is not a group of friends that decided to start a book club.
No.
Okay? Very different if you're already friends. You can probably tailor it to what you guys like to do. But I'm talking specifically starting a book club when you don't know anybody. Sarah and I obviously knew each other. We were already best friends. That wasn't the problem. So we were like, let's host it together. And we stressed ourselves out to the point of being sick. We were like on Etsy trying to find cookie cutters that we have
I
yet
still
to
have
use.
them. No, I made them.
Did
no,
you?
I made those cookie sandwiches.
Yeah, but I mean, since then, we have yet to use them.
No, I
But
need to use them again.
we stressed ourselves out buying like
They're
specific.
so cool.
They're so cute, but we're like,
Cheerwine.
like the first book we did was Legend Born.
Legendborn.
So we were trying to take everything from that. We were trying to make it a very
But
like
King Arthur
King Arthur
decorations. Night decorations all over the place.
we had cookie cutters off Etsy that we like rushed here. We were
Yep.
like, how many do we buy?
Yep.
How many cookies does everybody eat? And like ones that said like, I didn't read the book, and ones that were like, book slut. I don't even know.
Yeah.
We
Book club
made
bitches
sure
or
to
something.
buy book marks from a diverse
a black-owned Etsy shop.
shop because it was by a black-owned black author, and we really wanted it to be diverse, and we wanted everyone to feel happy and welcome. And we set up like this like a video, what's PowerPoint, if you will, of
yeah.
like who would you cast as
we
like
did
the characters.
fan casting.
We did fan casting. We did trivia. Like we tried to do as much because we knew people wouldn't know each other. What we found out is not people didn't eat as much as you
People
think
are
they're
never
going
to eat all the food. Okay.
It's always going to be more food, and we have yet to change that. But
So
there's
I
always
will
gonna be
say,
more food.
what I would say is, bring something that you feel good taking home, and you're going to eat at home.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. And that like just because there's 8 girls, let's say, doesn't mean you need 25
Nope.
cupcakes. Everyone's gonna have maybe one.
Yeah, maybe.
Because the more people you have, the more food that's gonna be brought.
Yep.
Also, we found out very quickly our group in particular doesn't like YA. So found that out.
Nope.
Like no one really liked the book.
I love
And
the
we
book.
loved the book. So we very quickly realized that we not everyone's gonna like what you like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Correct. We also did a TikTok that day, and I thought that was kind of fun. I actually
Yes.
would
I
recommend.
thought that was like actually a great icebreaker.
kind of icebreaker because we did the like, which would you choose? Do you like reading physical copy or audio? You know, like different things. So we were like finding stuff out to know about each other, but keeping it like a fun TikTok.
Yeah.
We also found out that not everybody likes TikTok and making videos. So there's that too. Maybe have like some questions, a questionnaire or something that you give out to people. Like, what kind of books do you like?
Yeah.
What are your favorite books? How do
Yeah.
you read? Like, maybe do something to try to get to know each other before you meet. We were lucky enough to have pretty chill people.
Yeah.
I will say Sarah and I's personality is very different than most of the people in our book club, but somehow it all works.
It works. And I think if you have too many, like,
Strong personalities.
really excited about book people, then it can get
It can
a
be
little
intimidating.
bit... Yeah,
it can be intimidating.
Yeah.
So I think you definitely want to try and find a mix of people that maybe are experienced readers, some new readers, some people that like different things. But mostly it is key to find people that like mesh well together, because whenever
Yeah.
someone comes in that you're like, everyone's kind of giving each other looks like, and
and you can
once
tell,
someone
yeah.
is in the book club, it's very hard to kick them out of a book club.
Yeah.
So finding the right group,
Choose wisely.
choose wisely.
And I will say, so if we compare our first book club, which was Legendborn, to
Yeah.
our 1-year book club, which was Twilight, one thing that I would say is, now they were wildly different parties, but the amount of money we spent on like those cookie cutters, the whole like gift for everyone to leave with, and all
Oh
of
yeah,
that
we
stuff.
did that too.
Yeah, we did
Yep.
like a gift for everyone to leave with, and
Yeah.
like the prizes, like the amount of money spent on that. Like, I feel like we were so, it needs to be
It
perfect.
needs to be perfect.
Let me tell you, we gave away like at the Twilight party like Arizona iced teas and candles from the Dollar Tree
Yeah.
that we put stickers on,
Yeah.
and we just
And we gave away like
What I-
Eclipse gum.
what I have found with the prizes,
The prize
is-
doesn't matter as much.
the
as
prize doesn't matter.
winning.
It's just winning a prize.
Correct.
So like, don't go crazy. Like a $5 Chick-fil-A gift card.
Great. Happy.
Don't break the bank
Yeah.
on the prizes or making things
so perfect.
so perfect. Honestly, people just want to win something.
Yeah, it's just
That's
fun
it.
to play,
That's
especially
it.
as like adults. Like it's
Yeah.
just fun to sometimes like get to pretend we're kids for a second.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I will say, also, if we're looking back on our 1 year, pretty much everybody was the same. There were some new additions, but no one had left the book club
Yeah.
from the first one to
Yeah.
the first one.
Yeah.
We had a couple new people also join, but we also successfully
Good
kept
retention rate.
We successfully kept everybody.
Yeah.
And it started.
And the comfort level at 1 year versus, the first time, it's crazy.
Yes,
Crazy.
because we started like incorporating even some heavier books, and I was like, oh my god, we're like really opening up about some things.
We sure
like,
are, yes.
we really like know
But
each other.
know what
at this
else
point.
I
and
have-
now they're like, now I consider them
What
like
else I have
family.
liked to see is people become friends
outside of the
outside
book club.
of the book club.
So great, so great.
I mean, how
It just
how
makes
cool
me
is
feel
that?
so good. I will say another thing that it morphed into, it just kind of happened was they didn't start off like they have to be themey, like that didn't, I mean, we themed the first one, but
Yeah.
after that, like they weren't. It wasn't until I'd say fourth wing party that I may have taken it too far, and then everyone was like, well, I don't want to host the next one.
Yeah, then we had to kind of take time to swing the pendulum back to like reasonable.
Keep in mind, some people are going to just go harder than others, but then
Yeah, some people are going to be natural hosts. You know what I mean?
Correct.
Like, there are always going to be people who like to have. There's always going to be books that are way easier to theme.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So sometimes that's part of it. Turned into us picking books like.
What do I want to theme? What party do I want to host? Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, now I'm at the point where...
Which is why I like the host picking the book.
Correct. That was something we changed at the 1 year mark,
Yeah.
because we also did on our 1 year party, we went all out on our 1 year party. We did the entire Twilight saga. And it was so fun to just kind of pick like a nostalgia thing.
Yeah.
And ours was specifically like, we're going big, we're celebrating like, but that was also when we decided to make some changes that I wish we would have made earlier. And we tried, but it seemed very like no one wanted to do it.
Yeah.
But we were like, we're stressed picking the books. We also did like a ranking of like, everybody tell us like where you would rank the last year's books.
Yep.
And I was shook to my core at the ratings of, I was like, oh my God, I thought you guys loved
I know. Oh my God, things that I ranked so high were the bottom of the barrel.
Yes, and
for a lot of people.
it was like a real reminder of like,
wow, we all don't like the same
we all don't like the
things.
same thing.
Yeah.
And now I can't tell you how excited I am every month for book club because it's somebody else picking the book and I
Yeah.
just get to go along for the
Yeah,
ride.
absolutely.
Which is so exciting. For example, this month, it's our first murder mystery.
Yeah. Oh, perfect. First thriller.
Yes, so
and
exciting.
it was so nice to step outside the normal things that I read.
Absolutely.
I flew through it.
Flew through it.
It felt like a little fun little.
Yeah, I was like, oh, that was fun.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see what's next.
And I feel like it will be a great party.
Yeah, absolutely. And so that's key. Is just like knowing and I would say from our perspective, try to, if I could go back, do you know what I would do? I'd be like, book club is going to be the first Tuesday of every month. Like I'd be like, this is it.
I know.
And because a lot of the stress comes from trying to figure out what date works for everybody. But if you just start off right away saying, we're going to have book club every Friday night, like whatever it is going to be however often you want to have it. Ours is once a month. I think that would have taken a lot of stress off of our plate. If we were like, this is the book club, who can commit to the majority of this date? Obviously things are going to come up. Like that would have been so huge because still to this day, we're struggling to figure out.
It would be nice if I could just block off a certain day.
A certain day every month and
Yeah.
be like, no.
Yeah.
And also I would try to pick the books as far in advance as you can because we have also learned that not everybody is a physical book person.
Yep.
Some people only get their books from the library. Some people do audio. Some people read really
And
fast. Some people
those holds
need
can
more
take
time.
a long time to come in, so it's easier if they have the advance notice.
Correct. I would say it's tough if you're going to pick a super popular book and you're doing it release week.
Yeah.
That's really hard for a lot of people to
Yeah.
read that fast or get the book or have the funds. We do try to pick books. Not everybody has Kindle, but we love it when we can find a book that's on Kindle Unlimited and
on Audible.
and Audible, and that people can get from the library
Yeah.
easily.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind too. I will also say document it. Like I wouldn't make content of every single thing, but taking a picture at every like book
It's
club.
nice to
it's
just
so nice
see.
to like look back and see like how much you've changed.
And it's nice to see like what did we do for that party? You know what I mean? It's like it's a way for me to go back and remember.
Yeah.
And
Like when we were ranking, I was like, I don't even remember this part.
yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like where were we?
Where were we?
Yeah.
What did we do?
Yeah. And we did have 1 month that I'm sorry, you didn't come to this one.
Good. I know. I only got to plan it, but I didn't get to come. Boo.
We did do one excursion,
We did do one.
and we went to and did a tea party for Ruthless Vows, and that was a nice little, it took the pressure off someone having to host that month.
Yeah.
And it was a fun little way to switch things up. I think I wouldn't want to do that regularly, but I think like a once a year type
I think if
deal
it's your
is-
turn to host and you don't have a house or a space or you just don't want to,
Yeah.
I would say planning that out as far in advance because not everybody has the same financial situation.
Yep, absolutely.
But for us, like, and you do what works for you in like your, I don't know, neighborhood or wherever you live. But like for us, I specifically knew I did not want to do like a library setting or a bookstore setting. Like I knew that for me to enjoy it, it had to feel more like a party.
I think that censors people a lot, like just being out in public. I think there's a
Yeah.
sense of when you're like comfortable behind closed doors, like you're more apt to be open to talking about certain things.
Yeah.
You feel more comfortable. It's just something about being on someone's couch versus like a chair under the bright lights.
And I will say we look to TikTok a lot for like inspiration on like how to like, okay, what do we want to do? What's the theme? And I've seen so many different book clubs. I've never really seen anyone like ours. There maybe are out there and they're just not putting it on TikTok.
Yeah.
I've never really seen any like ours, although I will say since our videos have gone really viral, I've seen more and more people doing it, which great, have a great time. But I have seen a lot of people that literally just have a dinner and talk about the book.
Yeah.
So you really got to do like what works for you. But I would say stay away from your typical book I mean, we always have book discussion, but we try to do it in a fun way where we're taking out things and we're keeping the conversation as like fun and bantery as possible, as opposed to being like, okay, the writer
what did
really
you think
talked
about the plot?
Yeah.
It's
We are more like, if you could cast anyone as Rhysand, who would you cast? And like, which wingspan do you really think? Like, we keep them more like lighthearted. And we will change it up from time to time. I say ACOTAR, but we actually have not done ACOTAR because not everybody likes the same stuff. So we have a group that hasn't all read ACOTAR yet. Much to my dismay. But we did do Fourth Wing, which
everyone is on board with Fourth Wing. So at least hopefully, we
did Fourth Wing and we did Iron Flame.
I'm hoping February's party will be Onyx Storm.
Let's make that happen. Because we did Fourth Wing, we did Iron Flame. It just makes sense.
Yeah.
We've done Divine Rivals. We did Ruthless Vows. We did Powerless. We're about to do Reckless. But we don't always do that. I mean, we did One Dark Window. We did not do Two Twisted Tower. Like, we don't always do that. And now it's exciting because we don't have to pick it.
Yeah.
That being said, I am hosting in September, and I think I did pick my book.
I'm so excited.
I am so excited. And now I go into the books of what we're hosting. I won't lie. I do think, like, how can I theme this?
Absolutely.
Because now we've kind of set a precedent for ourselves of, like, everyone wants to have a fun one.
But it also does make me, it forces me to get excited about that. I'm going to know I'm going to look human that day. I'm going
to see people. I will say 90% of the people in our book club love coming to book club.
Yeah.
And they make it a priority.
Yeah.
Like, it is, every time we have multiple people say, like, this is what I look forward to every month.
Yeah.
And that's, like, so good to hear because that's, like, I mean, it's not necessarily what we set out to do. We just wanted to find other people to talk books about. But now it's become, like...
It's become this thing, and I really like it.
Yeah.
And, something that we have... This is totally removed from this book club, but it's still book club.
Yeah.
We've ruminated on a little bit is starting, like, a book club on Fable.
Yeah.
And... kind of wanting to gauge interest in that. Like, would people be interested?
Yeah, it's hard because so many of the people that comment on our stuff don't even live in Florida, and it's like they want to be part of the fun. So it's like, well, how does what we do and the fun that you see translate onto Fable? We haven't figured that out yet.
And then so part of me is, do we try and see if there's interest there to start something on Fable, and then does that maybe lead to something like a book retreat type getaway, like get together for something like that.
Yeah, like I think book retreats is like the way to go to get people from around the world together. But financially, that's not always great for everybody. But I have been thinking about Fabled and like how we can take like what we do and some of my thoughts is like like the crossword bingo, things like that we can like send to them ahead of time, and then like who's ever hosting that one could, call the numbers, like whatever. Yeah. And when we do bingo, it's usually actually not numbers. It's usually like names, characters or things or places from the book.
Which is nice because, again, you don't have to have
read
the book.
So much inspiration can come from Pinterest, Etsy, TikTok. Not much from Google.
Yeah, I found a really great game that we played for the Twilight Party on Etsy that was like, $5 for the digital. Yeah.
I would also say
copy.
It can very quickly get financially out of control when you're doing it the way that we're doing it. So try to set a budget for yourself because when you don't give yourself a budget, you're like, why did I just spend $300 on pool floaties? They were dragons and I liked them.
It adds up.
It adds up.
It sure adds up.
So maybe something to think about when you're starting it is like, do we want to have a budget? Do we want to how do we want to do it? And a potluck just works for us.
Yeah,
it just does. And not everybody bakes or cooks. Some people just get store-bought stuff. It's fine.
Listen, when you roll up with Publix fried chicken, like no one's looking at you.
Listen, when you come with Culver's cheese curds, you're my girl.
You roll up with a fresh pizza, like no one's gonna be mad.
No one's mad about that.
No
one's mad about that.
So,
but yeah. Mostly I would say just start. Just do it. Even if it's just 2 or 3 of you to begin with.
Take
who
it out
cares?
of the group chat and set a day.
Who cares? Sometimes you don't need big groups.
No, start with
we had
3, start with
decided
4.
we thought when we started how happy would we be to have like 4, 5 people.
Yeah. Yeah.
Never in 1,000 years did I think we'd have
No.
a wait list, which just feels so weird to
ridiculous,
have. It's
right?
like ridiculous, but every day it's like if a spot opens up, which is hard.
It's hard.
It's hard.
No one's left.
No one's left yet. But yeah, I mean, start your book club.
Yeah, just do it.
Just do it.
As Nike says.
Just do it.
Just do it.
But if you have any other questions on like how to start a book club, please just like message us, put it in the comments, whatever. We always respond, and it's like one thing we're very passionate about, and it led to now us having a podcast.
Yeah.
So catch us on TikTok, Instagram, and then obviously you're already listening to our podcast.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
here,
YouTube.
all the places, and we're
And maybe
there.
Fable. Let us know.
Yeah, maybe Fable.
Yeah, what you think about that.
Let us know. Okay, great.
All right.
If you have questions, let us know. Bye.
Bye.